Whether you love them or hate them, we all know there are certain things a Japanese role-playing game just can't do without. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 JRPG cliches. For more gaming videos, check out our new spin-off channel, Mojo Plays, for in-depth reviews, thoughtful video essays, detailed character origins, and insightful commentary. Mojo Plays, game smarter. For this list, we're looking at the most tried and true tropes of the JRPG genre. The ones that we've come to love over the years and that help keep this unique genre of games distinct. These include narrative tropes, game mechanics, and other oddities and quirks that, for some reason, are shared by a large number of Japanese role-playing games. Number 10, Magitechnology. Say you got your typical JRPG world. Ancient kingdoms, magical beasts, mystical ruins, all that jazz. And then suddenly out of nowhere a train passes by, or like a car, or an army of robots. The answer to all this is Magitechnology. Magitechnology is when the game designers want to have their cake and eat it too, basically. They want to present a traditional medieval fantasy world, but they can't resist giving the heroes smartphones or something like that. These anachronisms will always be explained away as drawing from some magical source that powers everything from street lamps to giant war mechs. It's always giant war mechs. Number 9, Talking Animal Mascot.
What do you think? It's just as I said. Now we can steal it. Oh, the shine brings tears to my eyes.
It really wouldn't be one of these RPGs without something nauseatingly cute running around. No matter how out of place they may seem, a JRPG cast isn't complete without something tiny, furry, and motor-mouthed. Whether it joins your party or just annoyingly tags along, you can be sure that this RPG character will be one of the most memorable ones. Expect squeaky voices, repetitive catchphrases, and oddball attacks that drive everyone up the wall. But you can also count on these little guys worming their way into your hearts before the end of the game.
Ricky!
Number 8, The Doomed Hometown. Let's face it, JRPG heroes must be an absolute nightmare for real estate agents, because 9 out of 10 times, their sheer presence will mark their hometown as doomed. As a storytelling device, it makes sense. What's a more effective call to action than losing your home and your family all in one fell swoop, likely due to the plot of some evil mastermind? So beware whenever you fire up an RPG. Don't get too emotionally attached to mom and dad and little Timmy in the village square. Their days are definitely numbered. Number 7, Convoluted Plotline.
My 12 selves would welcome me here on this day, when I would return a complete person.
This might be a spoiler alert if you can manage to figure out what the heck is going on. For a genre that has so many tropes and standards, you expect plotlines to be elegantly simple. After all, you're a simple hero from a small village out to take out the big bad guy and his nasty world domination plans. So, pretty easy, right? Well, no. What starts out as a day picking mushrooms in the nearby forest will end in a cosmic war against gods spanning space and time and tapping into the deep mystical secrets of the universe. And no, we don't know how we got there either. Number 6, Themes of Love and Friendship.
I don't need a weapon. My friends are my power.
Pro tip, if you're about to take on the most horrific evil incarnations capable of destroying the world, always bring this with you. No, not your most powerful weapon, not an army of level 99 characters, but the power of love and friendship. It is, after all, the one thing that always pulls through in a JRPG plotline, even if you're outmatched and outnumbered, a rousing speech, and maybe a montage for good measure, about the bonds between your warriors will always prevail. Because, of course, the evil mastermind is doomed to fail, being the friendless loner that he is. You just gotta rub it in their face, too.
They're my friends! Friends!
Number 5, SpikyHaired Characters. Want to be able to spot a JRPG protagonist from a mile away? It shouldn't be that hard, because the hairstyles they sport could probably be seen from orbit. Likely inspired by anime, Japanese RPGs love to give their characters spiky, gravity-defying, improbable hairstyles. The logic behind it? Well, it looks cool, duh. I mean, what other reason could you possibly want? It's not actually just hair either. This logic extends to some of the ridiculous things that they wear too, which are usually just there to service the rule of cool. Who needs protective gear when you look as rad as these dudes?
I don't care about your politics.
Number 4, random encounters. Somewhere along the way, random encounters went from being totally expected, to totally reviled, to somehow endearingly classic when it came to RPG mechanics. We all know the feeling. The hero was walking around in the world map or the dungeon, running expectedly to the next plot point, and then bam! Out of nowhere, a horde of monsters has descended upon you, usually after a trippy transitional animation. This way, the game can throw a limitless number of enemies at you, making every step you take kind of a gamble. Better keep those repels and Moogle charms close. Number 3, final boss with multiple forms. You finally made it through the villain's twisted final dungeon, sat through his preachy monologue about life and death and the nature of existence, listened to your own characters preach back about love and friendship, and struck what you believe to be the devastating final blow. Right? Well, no, here comes form number 2, and then form number 3, and maybe sometimes more. JRPGs love to draw out the game's final challenge, with some battles lasting up to an hour or more. You can be sure that each form is gonna look more ridiculous than the last two because, again, JRPGs love to show off all the cool, over-the-top imagery that they can. Number 2, grinding.
Did you think you could escape me?
Grinding goes hand in hand with random encounters, really. The game figures that if it can throw an infinite amount of enemies at the player should in turn spend infinite amount of hours beating them up in order to gain sweet level ups. Every so often, you also run into one of those bosses you just can't kill, leaving you no other option than to turn around and start slaughtering everything you lay your eyes on in the hopes of becoming stronger. Then there's grinding for rare drops, you know, the ones that drop 0.01% of the time, just driving you freaking crazy. Well, either way, you're probably looking at a lot of monotonous, senseless killing. Better put a movie on in the background. Before we get to our number 1 pick, here are a few honorable mentions.
This is what you wanted to see, wasn't it?
Number 1, impractically big swords.
And this is my sword, the Purple Lightning Dream Smasher! If you want a taste, come and get it!
Either it's made out of some sort of fantasy metal, or the wielder has superhuman strength, or heck, the game can't be bothered to explain why it's just so commonplace. But the number 1 cliche on our list is the affinity JRPGs have with gigantic, awe-inspiring, utterly impractical swords. Don't ever expect a JRPG character to complain about hand cramps or sore muscles, because lifting these blades and jumping around is literally nothing to them. Because, like with their hair and their clothes, gravity, basic physics, and even common sense can be damned. It is all about looking as ridiculously cool as possible.
Now you feel it! Swing the blade to your heart's content!
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo and subscribe for new videos every day.